But welcome everybody. Welcome Light membership community. Thank y'all for being here, for the graciousness and your open hearts as we invite the Beyond the Ordinary community into this space with us today. And we officially begin season 3 of Beyond the Ordinary, y'all, next week, next Tuesday. And it's going to be an amazing season. There's so much that is stirring in the field, and so many different ways. And I'm sure that you all are having your version, your own experiences of what that means for you, and the relationship that you're having with it. um, in this space of the light group, I like to bring in an awareness around some of the things that I'm downloading from the field, from my guides. What's alive in me as I'm navigating these different pathways and what's becoming available, what is falling away and integrating from a new perspective within my being, and then how are we walking forward with that new version of the reality that we're choosing to engage with. So it's a beautiful witnessing and being in a relational dynamic of how we are understanding more of ourselves as individuals and as a collective. Because who we believed ourselves to be, who I have believed myself to be, who you have believed yourself to be, is not even close to the truth of what's really there. And these waves that are fluctuating, for us to turn on the circuitry and amplify the truth of that beingness, are becoming more profound. They're becoming more active. They're lighting up switches within us into a point of remembrance. And sometimes a point of remembrance have to be a point of discomfort, because what we have generated our side of ourselves to interpret as being us isn't the truth. And we have to adjust and acclimate. And sometimes our whole reality has to fall apart. And I'm not exaggerating when I say our whole reality, because it's a whole nervous system reset. It's a whole believing into what we deserve, that we're here and capable and willing to receive. It's an openness of heart to actually even to begin to receive the profound light of that truth. And again, it's a journey that we're all navigating as individuals, but in the individual, collectively, we're all rising. We're amplifying the light for those that are walking next to you. We're feeling the ripple effects of your becoming that luminescent being that you're remembering yourself to be. So I have been transitioning through a period of, I'll call it, these ebbs and flows of a wife that I'm feeling like I've really had to cocoon lately. I live on one of the most beautiful places that I've ever visited on earth, here in Kauai, truly. And I've barely gone out this summer. I've been in the house. I've gone in the ocean a few times. I've barely hiked. Luckily, nature is just right outside my doorway, so I get to like sip her in and be with a coherent field with Gaia that allows my body to integrate these shifts and absorb these energies in a way that they're not completely like burning out my circuitry. But again, it's been a lot of internal, I don't want to call it a realignment, because it's not a realignment, it's an internal restructuring or rewiring that's happening both in the physical, energetically, and in my mind as well. In my mind as well. Jalen, you too, right? Um, it's powerful what's coming through. But in that, there's a propensity, well, what's wrong with me? And something must be blocked and something must be wrong. Why aren't things working out like they're supposed to? That would be the old version of myself thinking some of those things. And not that it doesn't come up from time to time, but I'm really quick to go back in. It's like, no, this is actually a sacred space that I'm in right now. And I choose to keep checking in myself. Am I avoiding something and I'm being antisocial? Is there something that I don't want to feel? And so I'm not going out. Do I have social anxiety? Is it a self-worth thing where I don't be I'll be received? And perhaps all of those things come up as slightly true, but they don't ping as the deeper truth. By even just asking those questions, there's a version of those truths that exist. But those versions of the truth are being called into a new belief pattern as this field of stillness. And again, this sacred container amplifies more. So again, all the sediment from the bottom or wherever we're holding it is rising to the top as these waves of amplification of consciousness are rising up within all of us. So for me, it's okay to be in the contraction. Don't judge those other parts of me. They're saying it's got to be this, or I have to be doing something else. It's okay to be in the fear of missing out because I'm not being social or I'm not doing things that other people are doing. Um, it's okay to feel that. It's fine to be that I want to be invited to everything, even though I'm going to say no to everything. That part of me still wants is like, wait, I'm still wanted. People still want me to hang around. People still think about me. Um, and it's fine for me to feel that even if they're not inviting me, if I feel left out, that it's okay, that I choose to be inside anyway. And by inside, inside of myself. There's a, oh, what's the quote? I'm going to try to get this as best that I can. But it's a quote from the Book of Thomas. That were some of the sacred texts that were found was in the 20s and the 30s in the Egyptian desert that are part of the New Gospels. And the Gospel of Thomas, one of the direct teachings, and it's for me, it's one of the most direct teachings of Christ and the transmissions without getting into the story. It's just one transmission after the next after the next. And some of the sayings or the passages that he wrote is it can be a little confusing for a while, but if you really sit with them, you start to get the transmission and your interpretation of what they mean. But this one passage is, oh God, I'm trying to remember now. I'm losing it. But it's the essence that once you find what is within, you will be set free. Once you discover what is within, it will also scare you. It will frighten you. And once you embody what is within, will set you free. And the part of finding what's within that first it'll frighten you before it sets you free. I believe that that passage means that it'll frighten us how we set up our world in accordance with something that wasn't true, that was so diminished, that we would set ourselves up to live our lives in that way. And it frightens us because we don't know how to recalibrate to the new discovery of the amplification that's offered in divinity. And the fear of living so far in ignorance and in agreement to that ignorance and building a life that must be collapsed in order to get to the next place. Thank you, Mari. She wrote it. Um, the kingdom of heaven lies within. I thought there was more to it that you were writing. Um, I'll try to find the quote. Maybe I'll send it in the email or the passage. Um, but again, we're aligning and we're recognizing deeper truths within ourselves, deeper truths into how this existence has been created as far as a human fabrication, and the existence in the way that our beingness has had always, without question, the opportunity to create from the higher vibrational state of creation with divinity directly. From the higher vibrational state, we're always creating with divinity. It's what's our choice in creation. But to create in balance, to create in abundance, to create in a world not with violence, but with the understanding that when you benefit, I benefit. When our neighbor benefits, we benefit. When they grow, we grow. When we grow, they grow. When our children thrive, I thrive. When someone who is suffering on the other side of the world, whether it's their own ignorance or their own manipulation or coercion, or if it's inflicted through another, when they begin to thrive in a way that they couldn't before, I benefit from it. I will never benefit from reducing somebody else from the light that they truly are, no matter what the circumstance. And we're getting closer and closer to embodying that on a consistent enough basis that the world that we're creating together has to shift according to that truth. It just has to. And so, again, aligning with these truths, aligning with a rewiring that's coming in for me, again, it's a very inward process right now. And I feel like I'm slowly kind of out of it, coming out of it, but I have no expectations as to the timing. In the beginning, I thought it was okay in 2 weeks and 3 weeks, or once this shifts, or once this other thing happens, or it's not going to last long. And my guidance is to really be in a state of presence with whatever is at the moment, rather than try to manipulate an outcome that would feel more comfortable. Because manipulating the outcome, if I did it from the ways that I used to manipulate outcomes, where my intention was in the highest for everybody or not, I'd like to think that it was always in the highest, but not always. Based on my ignorance, my own inactions, not understanding what someone else may have been going through. To be able to sit without expectation with whatever is presenting itself, and to show up with an expanded heart as widely as I can expand it and illuminate it, is the only calling that makes sense now. Nothing else makes sense. Tuning into a trajectory and seeing the outcome as I hope that it'll be is not even something that is alive in my field anymore. I can only feel my way into alignment, and the pictures present themselves in the feeling. But even a projection of the alignments in the highest form, the possibility that that's still going to fall short of the potential that's arising from that would be something that I would be inviting in creating the particular outcome that the past version of me would hope for. Are y'all following so far? Am I speaking clearly? Now, this inward state of beingness, again, it's a sacred container. And if you're navigating any part of that, whether it's very inward or very outward in a creative expression, and you're out doing things, understand how sacred that space and that presence is. For you to realize the temple of worship that you be is of utmost importance. Because when you can hold that preciousness of you, understand it, feel it, that no matter what is happening around you, that the value that you bring through your beingness is not giving because of somebody else's interpretation of what they deem valuable. That value is God-given to you directly. And there's no thing with a human mind that can diminish that. It may try to, and it's done a really good job in different ways. And we've chosen to believe the projection of others onto us, that understand and own that preciousness at core, at the root of your beingness. And from there, everything, all is forgiven. Do we need to take responsibility for those places that are for us part of the reintegration, the retribution, the bringing things back into balance? Of course, we always do. You can call that karma, but it's cause and effect. It's a reflection where we're bringing things back into right alignment with divine expression through you as an emanation of light. And we just can't forget about it. We're actually embodying those pieces of ourselves. We're bringing the fullness, the wholeness of who we are back into the fold. And in that, we can give from the grace that is bestowed upon us to others who may need it more than we do at the moment because we've already been through that passage. We become examples of what's possible because of where we've been. We understand. We know. We've embodied. We've fallen and we've gotten up. And we can breathe the exhale of the surrender, of finally being at the top of the mountain where someone else would wish to be, where they see a pinnacle and think it is impossible to get there. But you're showing them the way. And you've had to show yourself the way first. You got to be willing to open up, to take that one step at a time, allowing the passage to get to that top place, to get to the place of reconciliation, reintegration, realignment, and rewiring into the remembrance of the truth of who you be. And that's where forgiveness comes in and clears the field and resets the loop of the pattern so that we no longer have to keep carrying the energetics of that cycle that would have us going in thinking that we have to clean something, fix something, there's something wrong with us, that we're unforgivable in whatever action we may or may not have taken. So again, we're going through this refinement process. We're going into sacred space. We're recognizing the temple of our beingness and understanding what that means in our capacity to create with non-local reality. Again, creator state being, meeting us in an energetic level where we're not putting forward a creation with the hopes to manipulate something into being, but we're actually creating with the divine in a way that inspires awe and wonder. We're creating art of our human essence. And we're putting onto the canvas the energy, the colors, of the majesty of your expression and your experiences. And we're all guiding each other home. And so in this space of creation, what's also happening for me, and I'm wondering if it's happening for some of y'all, if you're experiencing this, in this cocooning phase, I've come to realize that there is a very feminine aspect of my energetic field that is giving birth to something right now. It is in gestation. It is going through its stages of being birthed. But there's also a very masculine part of me that is protecting the birthing process. I'm in this divine dance with a higher essence, and I'm getting chills as I'm speaking of this, of the higher intelligence of my masculinity and my femininity creating as one in their roles as the mother father of my new creation, of my new beingness, of my new discovery as to what's possible. There's a balance within me that isn't seeking a masculine or a feminine outside of me, but is within me holding this full initiation. And before I was calling it a resurrection, but it's not even a resurrection because it's a whole new birth that's taking place. Look at different scenarios in your life. Look at the things that are amping up right now, coming into your consciousness. Whether you've been like me, having to be on the couch, 3/4 of the day, just kind of absorbing as much you can if you're not working, or whether you've been out being really active and in community or in friendships or with family, and see if you notice the feminine and the masculine within you trying to or coming into a place of co-creation. See if you can start witnessing, notice where those dynamics are coming into play. Or notice if you feel that something may be out of balance in it as well, where there's too much of the feminine but not enough masculine. Or too much of the masculine, not enough feminine. Not in judgment, but in curiosity. And then just ask if there's a place in you that would like to experience more of the balance and the co-creation between those two primal forces to bring you into a state of balance so that you can see and be more clearly with the forces of creation. And it's not meant to be work, it's supposed to be easy. It's a simple question. It's just a simple act of awareness and presence. It's not for the sake of getting something material or avoiding something that is uncomfortable, but it's for the sake, for the wisdom of truth and clarity to shine through because we're giving space for it to inform our direction, to inform where we're stepping into next. When you do that, it comes from this place of power. It comes from a place of sovereignty. It also comes from a place of surrender. Because again, who you've known yourself to be, you've let go of, you're surrendering that that one doesn't have to have the answer. You're actually going into a place of presence, of stillness, and waiting for the answer, waiting for the nudge, knowing when it pings your field in the simplest, most innocent way. So I want to take y'all into a process today. And by the way, thank y'all for being on the call today. Again, people who showed up from Beyond the Ordinary. Again, our live Beyond the Ordinary calls start next Tuesday. But I wanted to invite everybody into the membership call because it's my opportunity to share from this space and to channel and to open up so that we can have more direct questions and answers. I'll open up to questions here in a little bit or even comments as well. But again, for right now, I wanted to take y'all into a process and into a place of opening up a new possibility for what you can create, how you created, and who it is that you're creating it with, as far as from an etheric, energetic level. And the first place that I want to take you into um, is how we go about architecting our realities. And I can take you into a process, into visualization, feeling, being in stillness, and amplifying your energy. And we'll get into a little bit of that in a few minutes. But the first thing that we need to get into is that we really have to go into belief as the structure for your creation. If we don't believe something can happen, if we don't believe that we can receive something, we don't believe that we can be inspired by something, if we don't even know that something exists so that we can even begin to believe it, then we don't have the sticky places for something to really anchor into so that we can start creating from. Everything that we create in our life begins with the belief that we can create it somehow, whether it's in the positive or the negative, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, whether it's trauma informed or whether it is inspired because it is our highest alignment and we're just cooking with hot grease and running at the highest threshold that we can. So belief primes your state of creation with an expectation that something exists. It actually tilts your perception so that you can start noticing things in the field. You can start noticing a tone, a signal of alignment that's taken place. If you say that you want to create a relationship in your life, but you don't have a belief that that relationship can exist, or there's a doubt that is overriding over and over so much more strongly than the belief that it's possible, then you're aware what you're creating with, because that's where your most amplified belief is living. And it's okay, we can start there also. But it's good to understand and to just know, and this is from a very basic perspective. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but I do want to go through the structure of this because it's going to empower you in ways to really begin with the ABCs, but from a powerful place of your presence, of who you be now, not who you were 10 years from now, 20 years from now. When you're, oh yeah, belief creates my reality. No, no, no. We're creating, this is from where you are today, which is an amplified state of being. If you're on this call, listen to Beyond the Ordinary or any type of community where we believe something outside of just what we see as possible, then you're already in a whole different place of creating because of that belief. So again, what we want to do is be aware that our belief is signaling what it is that we want to create. And belief makes everything more than just imagination. Once you get into being with the harmonics of what you're choosing to believe, it creates a seed for your reality. And that's exciting because we're aware that we're sowing the fields with a potential that we're choosing to put our focus on, right? And if you're sowing your fields with a belief that something is wrong, that something needs to be resolved, then it's okay. It's good to notice where that is. It's good to step back and to get into a relational dynamic with that belief to see where it comes from. Because I can guarantee you that any belief that you have that is a detriment to the amplification of your light is not an absolute truth. It is a truth that has been weaved through an experience of discomfort an experience of being shut down or shunned, an experience of being taken away from the light. But it's not an absolute truth, the belief. Because just it was one way once doesn't mean it's that way always. But we repeat the pattern of that belief over and over to keep reinforcing it. So the belief, I'm not good enough, I'm not a priority. And we keep demonstrating that over and over, and we keep looping it, and we keep seeding it, and it keeps overriding, well, I'm not a priority. I'm not going to ask for what it is that I really want because people don't care. I'm not a priority. People don't see me. They don't hear me. It's not safe. When that thing happened to me, as traumatic that it was, I wasn't a priority. Had I had been, I would have been safe. I would have had a different outcome. But those are all truths that were only true in the moment, not true into infinity. And so to go back into where that roof, where the roots of that belief was imprinted, and just to bring your consciousness to it from where you are today, not to relive the experience, but to kind of be the therapist in this, like sit there and watch the scene playing out, but analyzing it, not as the one having the somatic experience, but as the one that's just witnessing what's happening and dissecting it in a way. It's like, okay, how can we put this into place so then that we're not looping that same experience over and over again? How we're not reinforcing the pattern and not getting out of it. Because what we want to do is we want to bring in a belief that something new is possible. We want to bring in a belief that what I seek is seeking me. We want to bring in a belief that I want to be loved as I know I can be loved, but maybe I haven't experienced it in the way that I know is possible. But to create a belief like it's going to happen, not in the sense that to get to that belief that I have to overcome so many mountains that I'll never get there. You have to own that belief like it's Santa Claus and he's coming tomorrow and all the gifts are going to be under the tree no matter what. And somehow it always seemed to happen that way when you were growing up, for those of y'all who got to experience Christmas in the way that we do here in the West. Somehow we believed strongly enough, and there was our world shape shifted around our belief, and we'd wake up in the morning and there was all these things to unpack, presents to tear open. Hold the beliefs of those experiences that you want to experience in your heart as innocently as the 4-year-old is expecting Christmas the next morning before they go to bed. With the anticipation, the excitement, the love, the amplified energetics that are contagious to those that get to experience him or her and their brightness in such strong beliefs. So remember that science even tells us that our mind will go anywhere we direct it. Our mind doesn't know reality from fantasy. It only knows what we keep imprinting it as our truth. Our mind doesn't care if it's true or not. It's only how we reinforce it. It's our reinforcement that creates the belief. Science is telling us this. I would encourage you to choose the biggest fantasy that you can about what's possible and to keep holding that no matter what. because you will create your reality based on what you're feeding it. And again, your belief is going to clear a channel. If you don't have a belief that you're choosing, and you're choosing doubt to guide your beliefs, well, doubt's going to scramble the signal of what you are resonating towards, of what you really want to have a relationship with. It's going to create the wobble in your field. And in that wobble, we'll miss the exits along the path and get redirected, and we'll loop back and forth. Um, it's like a compass without the magnet. It'll just keep spinning over and over. And it needs you to be that central magnet for that creation. So, with belief, even a small whisper of what you want to create, to have it ignited in your heart, starts amplifying the field. You start making that magnet more potent. And as you make the magnet more potent, as the synchronicities, you kind of start feeling it. And your outside world kind of starts reflecting different things. A song comes on, you hear somebody say something, and you come on the call, oh my God, that's what I was talking about. Or I've been having that conversation with someone else. Those start creating that feeling. Hold on a second. Something here is beginning to feel not just synchronicitous, but we start building an energy of trust. Wait, something keeps showing up that is somehow reinforcing and validating this thing that I'm choosing to believe. Let me keep going with this. And as you keep going with it, what we need to do next is we need to take little actions, not big actions, but just little ones to reinforce what it is that we're choosing to be in resonance with. It adds and builds on that co-creative field of divinity. You start feeding it. You start creating a pattern that creates a circuitry of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And in that, it just keeps amplifying. It keeps getting bigger. You reinforce the field for creation. And then what we want to do is we want to give those things that we want to believe in, what it is that we want to be in co-creation with. We need to start giving it a rhythm also. We can hold it as an intention, we can hold it as an awareness, but really to land it into our experience, we want to deepen an intimacy with its relationship. So in the morning, get into a rhythm with that belief, set a tone for it. In the middle of the day, reset your focus on that belief. And in the evening, review what evidence may have come up during your day that reinforced that belief that you're bringing in. Even the evidence to the contrary could be evidence enough that something wants to be reintegrated or looked at in the field to bring back into wholeness so that your field of creation becomes stronger. So even if the opposite shows up, understand that recognizing the opposite is part of the same energy, but just in a different loop. And so even that if you have an awareness, hey, this is the opposite of this, it's actually making your field stronger because you're recognizing a pattern that could have been unconscious before. And the fact that you can bring consciousness into it really demonstrate a capacity that you have in you to reinterpret and reset the loop into a new form of creation. Is all this aligning right now, guys? Are y'all following along? All right, cool. Um, and then at the end of the day, also just end each day with gratitude. Allow the softening of the heart, the softening of the body, the softening of your energetic field. In the softening, your energetic field actually expands. And I want it to expand in a way that you still have, I'll call it a bubble of integrity that surrounds you. That everything that you're inviting in is in alignment and in accordance and of a vibrational resonance to the innocence and the love and the force that you're creating with, or better. And that is what you're choosing to have relationship with. Anything that is within you that is not of that, may it be given to the light, may it be processed during dream time. May your guides come in and help you liberate yourself from the ignorance that no longer serves you. And anything that would try to come into influence anything to the contrary of you realizing the light that you are and having a greater relationship with that, may it recognize itself in its own ignorance and manipulation and only see a reflection upon itself so it can go do the work that it needs to get to wherever it's choosing to go, whether consciously or unconsciously. Again, so we seal an inward gratitude, and then we just feel, again, the ripple effects of that place of where we're carrying that belief in place, where we're choosing to have relationship, not with the possibility of it, but with the great potential that's coming alive in you because you're choosing to have a relationship with that field of creation. So remember, belief is the pattern underneath all of the patterns of your creation. Without belief, it wouldn't even begin. So when we go into creation with non-local reality, with 0 points, with God, and we sit in stillness and just choose to listen, belief is the first thing that you're bringing into that field. The fact that you would even drop into silence, to be in stillness in 0 point, in divinity, demonstrate that you have a belief that a creation is possible. So know what you're bringing into that space on a continuous basis. You're bringing in a belief of possibility. Well, what is it that you're feeding, and how is it that you're feeding it? And what results are you looking for and expecting based on your contribution? Hmm. So I want to take you all through a process. Let me look at time because I feel like I'm talking a lot today. Oh, I am, but that's okay. I want to open up the Q&A also, y'all, but I wanted to bring in on this light call a process that everybody could take back and keep working with, because again, our capacity to create our reality right now in the moment, individually, is the strongest it ever has been in generations. Your consciousness, your light, your capacity for intelligence and to integrate and to synthesize and to embody represents the significance of the second coming of Christ. It represents you being in alignment and understanding your own capacity of Christ consciousness, of higher level awareness of co-creation, and that you really are in direct relationship, if you will, with the kingdom of heaven. That we're graduating from free will, it's a whole nother conversation, into being able to handle the electricity of the light of divinity, that we can co-create with it more directly than we ever have been able to before. Where we are willing to be burnt and be turned into ashes, because we understand that what's being recreated anew is setting us and the rest of the world and the cosmos free from the illusions and the fabrications of reality that have been manipulated into existence through reptilian structures that we're graduating from. Once again, you are embodying Christ consciousness at this time. There's no mistake about it. It is greatly apparent that this is the truth of the level of consciousness that we as individuals are capable of creating with and are actually being guided and initiated into creating with. So no matter what comes up, go into your heart, see, hear, and feel everything from your heart. Allow it to play out. Remember who and what is walking next to you. Not ahead of you, not behind you, next to you. And see if you can breathe into a place of trusting and having faith in your own becoming and the becoming of the world as well. All right, so I'm going to take y'all into, I'm probably going to make this short, but effective. So I'll break it down into different steps. I think I'm going to walk you through it instead of guiding you through the process. And then y'all can go back and listen to the recording and write it down and go into your own transmission with it. And so there'll be about 7 or 8 different steps that I'll take you into here. And I like y'all being in your own field in this particular space. And you can come back, we're going to have the replays, and you can come back and listen to the replay and allow my voice or maybe even this collective field to help amplify, if you choose to, the space that you're entering into. But I'm just going to give you a breakdown of these different steps. So the first one is to get into this like builder phase, because we're putting in the reverb for the foundation of what's being created. So as you start getting into this space, which is going to lead you into 0 points, into a place of being in a relational dynamic with divinity. It's like sit tall, loosen your shoulders, unclench your jaw. And we're going to start doing is we're going to start getting you into an alpha state, a place of just presence, of stillness. And to get into that space, it can be really easy. Just take 6 slow breaths in through the nose. And then as you let out the breath, allow the out breath to be longer than the in breath. With each exhale, feel your forehead softening, your eyes, your tongue, your hands, your shoulders dropping. And count down from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with each number, feel the static just getting quieter, calmer. And after the last of the cycles, after the 6 slow breaths, start paying attention to the stillness in the field. No place to go, just feeling the soft space, the expansion. This is non-local consciousness. This is the Akash where everything and everything is possible. It's the void state, 0 point, the field of pure creation with the divine. And if you can start feeling the peacefulness and just being present with it, bring into this consciousness an intention that you want to focus on. If there's something that you want to solve or an outcome that you want to lean into it, and I say outcome from a place of what do you want to experience in your heart? What is it that you want to feel? What is it that you want to choose to surround yourself with as you experience that Christ consciousness within you? Is it a problem to solve? Wonderful. We're choosing alignment. Is it an outcome that we want to lean into? Yes, because that outcome I see as an expression of divinity flowing towards me, within me, through my creation with it. And then see a scene. Just simply see a scene or notice a phrase or a number that comes in, something. What is it that's going to help me resolve this that's coming up? And just be in the stillness. See what images are coming up for you. Not in a wishful thinking type of way, or let me override what is, but just for the sake of clarity. And once you see it, anchor it in. Anchor it in. You'll have some type of cue. You'll hear a sound, a color. You may hear a word, feel a texture. It could be the wind blowing. Just get something where your body can have an experience of it. Allow it to stimulate your sensuality so you can heighten your capacity to tune into that answer, that experience that's right there for you. And then we're going to open up in the stillness for a response in this problem, in this outcome, in this space of creation. What is my next useful step? Where is the next step in my highest? Just be in stillness and listen. And allow it to respond to you. Wait 10, 20, 30 seconds for the field to respond to you. You may receive it quickly, but be patient. Allow for the clearest of the signal to reach you. And invite divinity to co-create it with you, to respond to the stimulus of your output. Again, it's a circuitry of communication and intimacy that we're creating in this field. There's no forcing anything. There's no expectation. It's just presence, stillness, and receptivity. And again, allow the first clear, simple inspiration to arise. Feel it, know it, receive it without judgment, just with a thank you. What is the next useful step? What is the next step that is in my highest? And as you receive that step, allow the sense of feeling and creation with it to swirl around you in this non-local space of creation. You're amplifying your light. And again, see the image, review the signal, and then come back. When you're back, the next step in this, and this is a lot of times we're good at channeling information, but we kind of sit on that for a while. So this is an empowerment state of becoming and of beingness, of amplifying your light into a new creation. Next thing I want you to do is to take a small action. Whatever came in is, what's the next thing for me to do? What is in my highest to do next? What would you seek of me in this situation that I can contribute? And take an action step. Nothing that would take you more than 3 minutes. From 1 to 3 minutes, something that aligns with the image of what you're seeing in the creation that you want to experience. And do that action that day. Super important. It's a lot easier to do an action in 1 to 3 minutes and to do it that day than to wait to do an action that's going to take you 15 minutes that you're going to keep putting off because you don't have the time. Again, we're creating a rhythm. We're repatterning based on the belief that you're bringing in, that you're bringing into a relational dynamic, into 0 point field, into non-local reality, into your intimacy with the divine. And you're saying, let's amplify this belief from my highest good into my next form of creation to ignite the Christ consciousness and creator self that is alive in me that I'm ready to get to know in ways that I haven't experienced before. And this is where your actions become super important. And again, we're going to align that action with the image. The action is you laying the brick for your creation. So when you take that action, envision, bring in the image of what it is that you're creating, what it is that that belief is igniting you into. What is it that vibrancy, if that belief were true and it's possible for me to create, what excitement is it bringing into your field? And as you're taking action, bring that image into the architecture of your creation. That's the cement that's gluing everything together for that solid foundation. Again, it's intention and action, holding the belief, having the relationship with that belief, being in the circuitry of building on that belief with 0 points. And it creates a new reality. And it's 1 to 3 minutes, just small action steps. And then again, amplify this field by doing this in the morning. Set your intention. Be in one micro action. In the middle of the day, take a couple of breaths and bring that alive field back into your field. Just confirming that you're in creationship with it. That validation that we wish we would receive from others, we're validating our creation by being present with it for just a little bit. Tuning in and saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm creating with you. And then in the evening, review. Did you take the action? Amazing. Then the next day, sharpen it just a little bit more. Okay, what's the next step? Or let me be in gratitude for that action. What is it that I can do on top of that action that's going to bring in that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of excitement, that anticipation? Because I know I'm co-creating with the divine. You know, what could be more exciting and more fulfilling than that? God knows we've co-created with everything else around the sun, but somehow it leaves a state of dissatisfaction a little bit. We search for something more. But if I'm creating directly with divinity and it's responding, I can tell, I can feel it and see it in the synchronicities, the confirmations that came in, the signals that I'm receiving from outside of me because I'm creating from this from within. Build on the energy loop, amplify the circuitry, so that your magnet is getting stronger for what it is that you're creating. So what you want to do is, again, 3 minutes a day. It's going to help you build new neural pathways that are reliable, that are trustworthy. 1 to 3 minutes a day. If you do this 1 or 3 minutes a day, y'all, it's nothing. But again, the trust, the abandonment, the not being a priority, the not enoughness, it doesn't have legs to stand on because you're showing up. You're choosing this as your creation. And the 1 to 3 minutes can turn into an hour or 20 minutes or whatever you want to later. But let's build the new pathways in the circuitry for the standards that you're putting into place, for the quality of life and consciousness that you're choosing to create for yourself and for the world. You can do the 15 minutes, the 20 minutes, the hours later, but build the circuitry within you and start feeling how alive it becomes in you. I'm telling you, 2 to 3 months of doing this and your capacity to hold that field changes realities. It shifts paradigms. It brings in a confidence of knowing that divinity is living and alive in you. When you get into that space of that resilience, fear doesn't stand a chance as a creator in your reality. It may stimulate a creation, not always a bad thing, but it's not what drives your creations in the long run. When you know the divine is running through you, embodied through you, nothing can take that away, no matter what. When you have to sit on the couch for 3 months and not go outside and experience the beauty of the outside, you trust it because you trust yourself, because you trust your connection to listening and to clarity, and you allow it to inform you as you co-create with it. And you tune into your own inner compass in ways that you're ready to receive that you haven't before. And again, shorter beats longer right now as you're building the circuitry, as you're reinforcing it. We're getting hit with enough light and energetic downloads that little short spurts are sustainable. And they actually become much more potent because we're getting so many transmissions amplifying our light and our capacity to create. Keep it simple. You don't have to get elaborate. Really tune into what your heart wants in innocence, what your inner child wants in innocence, what you want to experience in your life in innocence, but also knowing the power of the light that you're amplifying with. Do not deny your own divinity. This is just, it's getting you to a place where that you won't be able to deny your own divinity. But again, we're creating the loops. At any time, if you feel a little sleepy or foggy, just open your eyes. If you're in this process, you just kind of take another couple of inhales. Instead of counting back from 6 and taking 6 breaths, take 3. And speak out loud what you're embodying, or move your body, or touch your heart, or tap your third eye, your crown, just to bring you into a place where you're in presence with the energetic field that you're creating with. Again, your biomagnetic field is expanding, becoming more potent. We are creating a sphere of influence, of alignment, where you will feel that which is in alignment with that greater clarity and have the authority to say, no, this doesn't belong to me anymore. It must go and go create with something else, but not you. And then you're getting into a daily gratitude practice to keep amplifying and reinforcing the structure of the belief that's taking place. That gratitude is what melts your field into receptivity. And so, again, short practices to come in to really amplify your capacity to create with non-local reality. Again, these are some of the steps that they used in Project Stargate to do remote viewing. It's like little hits. They weren't going deeply in to try to locate where the submarines were or missing children were. They were starting to amplify the field by doing little exercises that would then start building into a greater capacity to tune in. So instead of turning the volume all the way up where everything gets distorted, little by little, you amplify the energetic field, you tune into it until all of a sudden you're into that force field of creation. And as you do this practice, there's some things that you'll notice. You'll notice that there's less noise in your mind. There's a sharper clarity. You'll find that the small wins from the everyday, the 1 to 3 minutes, that they replace any loops where you feel stuck. Again, the loops of I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm not moving forward. The small wins, little by little, turning up the volume, replace the stuck loops. You'll find because you're tuning into that stillness, the 0 point, the place of creation with divinity, that inspiration arrives and you can hear it because you're calm enough to receive it. Momentum begins to build because just your action taking ability starts to flow with intention. We're not reacting and taking action to a field of something else telling us what to believe, whether it's our family, our friends, the news, social media, our jobs, our religion. We're choosing the beliefs that we're bringing into this field for this creation. And as you take action and intention, it just naturally builds this awareness and this confidence of your ability to create in this space. Trust comes in strongly. You start trusting the field and your capacity to be in the knowing and not knowing simultaneously. Your not knowing actually becomes a place of knowing because you know that you're not supposed to know in that moment. It's like, okay, I'm in that process of receiving, of being still. I trust that what's for me will arrive for me right when it's supposed to. And I'll just keep creating from the excitement of the creation, from the knowingness of who and what I am creating with, from the knowingness, the faith of who walks next to me in this creation that I am choosing to participate and put my heart and intimacy into. We also start going to a place where the feelings of helplessness, of victimhood, start to diminish. That place of helplessness begins to wane, and it doesn't run the show in the way that it used to. And then opportunities begin to come into the field that match the belief system. We can't help it. And then we start getting the embodiments, again, the small proofs that keep showing up that start stacking in your favor. Is like, hold on a second, I'm actually embodying this. This is happening in my life. I am witnessing this not only in myself, but somehow I'm seeing this belief or what I'm hoping to bring in places where I've never noticed them before. And then that belief, that was a seed of belief of maybe a potential, or I know exists, but it's not in my reality right now, and I don't know why. It goes from being a belief into actually being a statement and a beingness in truth. You become the experiencer of the seed blossoming into a manifestation of creation that becomes a truth that you can no longer deny within yourself. They asked Carl Jung once, "Do you believe in God?" And he just paused and smiled. He says, "I don't believe in God. I know God." That was his personal experience. It's certainly mine as well. So that's the field that you're creating in. That's the process that I want to share with you for you to get really strong in amplifying the field for what it is that you want to be in relationship with. And again, as you succeed, as you thrive, as you lighten up in vitality and excitement and joy and courage and confidence and grace and compassion, we all get to benefit. I say that I do this in service to our community, but it's also true that as my community grows and expands and embodies and thrives, I thrive. So I do it as an act of love and simultaneously as an act of selfishness. And both are wonderful. Both are wonderful. And I invite you into really embracing that also. I invite you into being just abnormally selfish during these times. Like, really focus on you. Focus on your inner world. Amplify what it is that you want to receive, that you want to feel, that you want to be in creation with. And let it show up. You have to be the priority right now. You. It all begins with you. So I encourage you all to get into this practice. Encourage you to take those small little micro action steps. Um, again, our capacity to amplify the field of Christ consciousness by taking small steps has never been so great. Follow whatever is stimulating you right now. It's all happening to awaken something profound in you right now. Even the little shallow things are profound things right now. It all matters. And again, we're here to hold you, guide you, to mirror back to you um, everything that's possible within you. So there you go. Um, and I'd love to open up to Q&A or comments now on the call. And actually, before we get into that also, again, this is typically part of a membership call that we do every Monday. We normally meet at 12 p.m. Pacific. That's the new schedule, but I wanted to do it at 5 p.m. today just for the light group so that we can, or for the Beyond the Ordinary community, so that more of y'all could possibly show up who couldn't show up at 12 o'clock. But if you're interested in coming into the Living in the Extraordinary community, the link for that is in the chat box. You can always go to livingintheextraordinary.com. The membership price on there is $39 a month. We meet 4 times live per month for about 90 minutes every time. Sometimes we'll have guest speakers. We'll skip from time to time, not very often. We'll pull tarot cards sometimes. Sometimes I bring direct channeling in. Sometimes I bring a process, but um, it's always what calls in the field. And I'm always open for suggestions as to how I can meet whatever's coming up for you all in consciousness as well. So again, it's a place of co-creation and being with one another in this particular field. And let's see, any of y'all have any questions? Anybody want to raise your hand if you want to ask a question or provide a comment? And let's see if there's any questions that came in the chat. Jillian, thank you so much. The what and how. April says it's also a space where you can get together with other people. Yes, the community there is wonderful. As a matter of fact, there was a suggestion that came to me that where the group just wanted, it's like, can you just not be on a call one week so that we can all just talk? And so we're probably going to do that from time to time as well, in the Living in the Extraordinary community. And all right, I don't see anybody with their hands raised, so let me double check. Um, because if no one has it, we do have so we have Heather coming in. Heather, let's get you to unmute your microphone.
Hello, John.
Hi, Heather.
Lovely to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Fantastic. I love all your sharing. Hello, everyone all over. Um, I think this can actually apply probably to all of us. I'm wondering what this when you're in a state of allowing and being patient, sometimes you're impatient. Um, eh, what kind of effects do you think it has on the body as far as like being impatient? Like obviously you can get stressed and can like feels like sometimes it manifests for me in my body as like
Mm.
pain, physical pain, and I try and think, am I creating that by not being in alignment? Like is that my body going, no, no, you don't want to do that here, here's some pain. So I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that from an energetic
I
perspective.
I
Yeah.
think from an energetic, a nervous system response emotionally, all of it, absolutely. And again, we're integrating in different ways, and there's lots of things that are happening simultaneously. We have a nervous system response. First of all, even if we think we're being patient, there's still a part of us that wants to get to where we know we should be so much faster. So I would say impatience just runs across the board. And sometimes we're being patient, waiting for ourselves, waiting for something to shift, waiting for other people, waiting for our body to catch up, waiting for the astrology to go into a new formation, whatever it is. There's an aspect where we're learning to have a different relationship with time, right? So it's like, what's true in what's possible, and how can I breathe into the realization that that which I wish is already here. But the whole body and the nervous system is going through adjusting to something that it's incomprehensible to our minds, that the future's already been created and we're experiencing walking into it, even though we're not into it yet. But it's through our presence that we get there and we align with that non-local space that is already part of a multidimensional experience. It's crazy. So being able to just breathing into, and like literally breathing into our bodies and just letting it know that it doesn't have to understand all of that at this moment. That we can just breathe into our relationship, divinity, as our only source and our only supply. And trust that. God is my only source, God is my only supply. And allow the body to just go through the iterations of what it needs to go to, and then be compassionate with the physical body, listen to its needs, hold a space not of judgment, but of gratitude and how intelligent it is, that it is attuning into a new frequency of possibility within itself. And then to not judge ourselves, because I want my shoulder to quit hurting. I wish my back wouldn't go out. I wish I didn't have this cancer in different ways. Why? Just compassion and understanding for the body and its own intelligence. And if we're craving different experiences, if we are craving foods that we normally wouldn't eat, that our body is going and our energetic body is going through a space of integration, and don't judge those phases necessarily. Now, if you get into really unhealthy habits, it's like, wait, I went over the edge. I'm out of balance again. Let me see where I can bring that into reasonable balance at this point. I would say do not check out with drugs or alcohol, please, because we want to keep you in a space that is in vibrational chord of what's becoming. And so natural foods, you may be craving sugars, fine. You may be craving salts, fine. That crystalline energy from those components are actually helping us to stabilize a DNA activation, if you will, a grid that is being rebuilt with new structures as the old foundations crumble. But compassion and grace, and if there is an opportunity to be in nature, drink lots of waters, and like add salts, add to your water, add oh, why can't I think of it? The little powder you put in the water is like, someone help me. Why can't my mind is going blank? Hi,
Like
Marie.
electrolytes?
Electrolytes, thank you. Yes,
Okay.
electrolytes. um, and just listen, honor, don't push. Sometimes you'll want to push, and that's okay. Push a little bit, but listen. And if you're pushing a little too much, your body's going to reply. It's going to respond and listen. Say, okay, I pushed a little too much. Let me push the edge every once in a while. It's fine. But listen, we're doing that with each other in different ways. We're doing that with the world. We're going to be doing it to our bodies, and we're going to see just how far we can take it sometimes. But also with compassion, with presence, and take an action when we heed the response in a way that is of benefit to you, to your body, and to your situation. And so there's so much in that, and so much to answer in that question. So hopefully that's giving you something um, to apply and to understand in your heart. Remember, see and know through your heart. See everything through your heart first. All right. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Mary, welcome.
Hi, John. Hi, everyone.
It's good to
Hey,
see you.
thank you. Thank you so much. Just a really quick comment, two comments. Just such gratitude. And I love you so much. And I thank you and April and Chris and the staff for all these years.
Yeah, it's the team's amazing. Thank you for
Oh
your
my gosh.
them.
Yeah. My comment, I so resonate with everything today. I'm watching on Disney Channel, I think, National Geographic. I'm watching Limitless. Chris
Mm.
Helm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's so much of just what you're talking about today. And in my meditations and the things that I'm doing, it's like, yeah, one more step. Oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe for me to come on live with my video is a big thing.
It's good to see you. Thank you.
Anyway, so thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming on. You've been listening to the show for a long time.
Years.
Long
Yeah.
time. It's great to see you. Did you have a question or something that you wanted me to that you like?
No, I just really I love the Limitless too. And he, I love that incrementally doing something different, being,
Yeah.
you know,
And bringing in a new belief system of what's possible, that limitless. It's like, what? Hold on a
mhm,
second. It's like
yeah,
someone's doing that. The 4 minute mile. It supposedly you could never break the 4 minute mile. Supposedly the body just couldn't do it. It was impossible physiologically up to a certain point. Then when one person ran it, I forget who it was, then all of a sudden within months, you had all these other people running sub 4 minute miles.
yeah, yeah.
And so that limitless capacity, the belief of what the body, the mind, or the consciousness can do, it's tremendous.
Just even the word.
Mm.
And along with the kingdom of heaven, In Christ, we are made new. In Christ, I mean, every moment
Yeah.
we're made new. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where awe and wonder stem from, is like to be in the stillness of creation. Amazing. Marie, blessing to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Barbara, welcome to the call.
Hello, hi everyone. All the old time members. Your topic today, like I haven't been able to come every week. And for those that aren't members yet, honestly, it's the price. You just couldn't get lower than that, really, for what we get. But the topic today, I love how you started out with synchronicities, because I have had so many in these last 3 days that spurred me on to then thinking bigger again and going back to my own manifestation process, but to dream big. And we don't have to know how we're going to do these things, but when your soul is calling you to do something and you resist because you don't know how you're going to do it, it's this short little things that you mentioned, the little steps, retraining the neural pathways or whatever they're called, rebuilding them. I just think that was just fabulous advice, and the example you gave us was great. So I'm really glad I was able to make it, because it was an evening one. And again, thank you. And to all the new people, honestly, John has changed our lives by showing up almost every single week, every month. So thank you, John and Chris and April and all of the regular members. I'm just seeing your faces. Oh my gosh, I miss you guys.
And
so
we have
thank
Johar
you.
also, and Johar's been with us 6-8 months now. I don't know, time's weird. So yeah, the team's growing, and then we have more people on the back end. So I want to recognize them as well.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you here, Barbara. It's you're an
Thank you.
inspiration and teacher in your own rights as well. Um,
Thank you.
but yeah, the small action steps, again, I cannot emphasize how important the small action steps are, not just because it's going to build on what we eventually want, but what that does for our confidence, what it does to establish a trust with divinity again, in a place where we have lost trust, where we don't know what to tune into because we can't believe anything anymore because our experience doesn't match the reality that we hoped for. And those small steps start building incrementally a relationship with divinity through our own embodiments and experience that you can't deny anymore. We can't ask someone just to deep dive into trust when they've been swimming in an ocean of distrust, of being let down, of feeling abandoned, of feeling misplaced, of not belonging. And so those little small action steps, even if you're swimming in a big pool of trusting and believing and of faith, there's still more that we're building upon, and that strong foundation gets formed brick by brick, not by seeing the wall all at once of the structure of the temple that you're building. The temple is always built brick by brick, one by one. And it doesn't have to be in perfect alignment. Don't wait for perfection. Just put it into place. Be the 4-year-old that scribbles along that coloring sheet. But pick up the crayons, start creating, and know that the temple, you already have the template for. You just have to add your energy, your essence, your presence, and your creativity to it. And before too long, you'll be praying, in other words, creating from within that sacred space. It's here. It's here for you. There's no mistake in it. Barbara, thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you. Oh, I had a message for you. I'll need to reach out to you afterwards. There was something that I wanted to share with you. I'll need to find it, but I'll do it another time. So I'll keep you in anticipation of that. That'll be fun. Is it Jill Lynn? Is that right? Okay. Hi, Jolene.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this was an answer to prayer because I have not been able to pray or get to the 0 point or quiet my mind in many, many months. And previously, I could go drop in deep. And I remember you saying on some of your shows about how your um, your process has also changed, or your ability, and was given the message to go within. And so I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, as well as today's method. I love how simple and short, and your encouragement to keep it small, because I have felt, hard on myself because I'm not where I used to be, supposedly, in my ability to drop in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big one, and again, it's the world is so big, so big, so small at the same time, but so the stimulus of the signals, the noise that we hear from, that we not only hear but we feel, and we're tuned into. And if y'all are on this call, you're sensitive beyond belief. You just are. You have a capacity to feel and to sense, to empathize, to tune in a way that is beyond what we would consider the normal. Thank God. Let's not be normal that way anymore. And the truth is, we can't be. We're all graduating and growing into different capacities of sensitivity, of empathy, of being an empathic being and recognizing it as a natural state. Because how could we not feel everything if we are part of everything in unified consciousness? So that empathy is an indicator where we're receiving the truth that we are all one, but we're glorious individualizations of the one, of the one. So again, because of that sensitivity, and because we can feel and tune into so much, even though we may not be aware, because it's too much for our mind and our body to handle, our capacity, again, as we've increased the vibrational intelligence of our being and capacity to tune into something greater, because we have felt so much from that increased capacity, and so much of the energetic inputs that are coming in, not just from the consciousness of this world, but again from these huge bursts of solar flares and radiation that are coming to us from Gaia, amplifying her field also and growing in her emanation. And what that means for us as individuals has become something that we're adjusting to. But it's a lot of times overwhelming in the information overload that we're receiving. It seems like information is coming to us faster, and it is, but the only reason that we can sense that information is coming to us faster is because we have sped up also. We have sped up energy. We have increased our capacity to turn over that information in ways that we don't completely understand, but we feel. And so tuning into a greater field in the way that we used to a year ago, 3 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, we're tuning into a lot of that chaos, but that's by design. We are exactly where we're supposed to be by design. Our blueprint has dictated that this is where we're ready to be now. And so that design is guiding us into, okay, now it's time to go more within. Instead of tuning into and being in reaction to the outside, whether it's to humanity, to Gaia, or to our guides, our cosmic agents and ambassadors, It's all telling us that everything that we choose to be in relationship with and we wish to be is all within us now. It's like, oh, okay, bring it back into the unity of consciousness that I be within myself. I am Gaia. I am those ambassadors and those guides. I am the collective as an expression of a microcosm that lives within the fractal of me. And so we're going inward. We're recognizing divinity within ourselves because somehow we're recognizing the separation of unity, but also the collapse of the belief of separation happening simultaneously, and what that means as far as distorted field of consciousness. And so here we come. We're feeling so much. I can't tune into the same way. The signal is not something that I can pick up like I used to. So where do I find that signal again? Where do I find that place of balance? How can I have relationship with something that felt so comfortable, like home, that brought me peace and solace and solutions and creativity and joy and vitality? It's all within you. Well, if I can't find it anywhere else, and I've searched everywhere, the only other place that I know to look now is inside of me. And so when you sit in your stillness, we'll call it a meditation, but I don't even want to call it a meditation because I don't want you to have to be in relationship to something outside of you. But for our conversation, we'll just call it meditation. I breathe myself in. I breathe the energy of the wholeness of me back into my field of influence, my field of me influencing me and my transmission of me. Christ consciousness in me. I breathe in the light and I exhale it out so they may support all parts of me in remembering or integrating or amplifying that light within myself. I breathe myself in. I exhale myself. We're not exhaling what's out of vibration, what's bad, what's no longer in alignment. No, everything is rising in the light with every breath that you take in that moment. There is no distortion. There's only a vibrational tone that you're bringing into the harmonic. And before you know it, that symphony is playing the most beautiful piece of music that you've ever heard. The notes that were out of tune rise. The ones that were in tune and alignment help the others to rise and recognize themselves as something greater, but they understand the fullness of it all coming together and what gets created through that field of creation.
Yeah, it's so that's helpful because what I'm finding is that going inward, I have a hard time holding on to it because it feels like all the outside stuff comes in with it. And so it keeps me even internally distracted from the, from the connection.
But notice if that happens, notice the times where that's not there, where the stillness
Okay.
is, and just recognize like, oh, I recognize that stillness and I recognize that this isn't. It's like good to recognize. It's like,
Okay.
don't try to get anywhere, just notice it and then just breathe. Just a blank space as much as you can.
Okay.
Just stillness. And you might hear tinging in your ear. There could be vibrational. I get that you kind of hear frequency sometimes. Is that true?
Well, I don't know. My ear has been plugged up for a year. So I must not be listening to something. I don't know.
It's okay. Just be curious if you kind of hear something. It's just, oh, interesting. No
Okay.
expectations of anything. No expectations. I need to be at peace. I need to be calm. I need to not be feeling everything. Just like whatever is. If you're noticing that there's a lot of outside noise, static, as you're breathing, if there's a particular thought or something that's looping, I've shared this before. As you sit in that stillness space, this meditation, sit with your hands on your palms up.
Okay.
And if there's a continuous thought that comes in, a loop, a worry, an energy that feels like it's from the outside, turn your hand over and turn it back up. It
Okay.
disrupts the loop. And I breathe myself in, I breathe myself out.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you.
Breathe myself in. And before you begin, there's a couple of things when you begin that place of presence, and thank you for bringing this up because this can really be helpful. You can set the intention of bringing in the Christ consciousness awakening through you in the moment. I bring presence to my Christ consciousness. And begin with that and take a couple of breaths in that. And then if your mind starts racing, starts going different places, your middle finger and your thumb, tap them back and forth with your hands facing up, like you were sitting in meditation. And just put, I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. 2, 3, 5 times at the most. Take another inhale and exhale. Inhale yourself. Exhale your beautiful energy into your field of your presence and find stillness again. Don't expect to be in stillness every time.
Okay. Okay.
If you're in 2 seconds of stillness, congratulations. You've gotten to a place where you've been in stillness more than 95% of the population in the world.
Okay. Those are powerful tools. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
And allow it to build up. You've got this, just a little bit of practice. And I promise it's just a recalibration that's happening in the field. I know because I've been going through it. Again, like I said, I've shared that quite a bit. But everything is within. Everything. This is where we're being guided to over and over again. That energy is your only source in your supply. You and God, you and the divine. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Jella. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. It's been thank y'all for allowing me this space to share with you. I hope that this serves you as much as it has served me. Again, I can only share from what I experience. Again, my whole chart, my whole wiring is that way. I shared this on the last call. It's like I'm one of those people that I have to experience it first. I need to fall down, fall down, fall down, and get up. And then it's like, oh, this is the way through. I can't read it. I just can't get the download and then just put it into action. I need to do the taste test to let you know whether or not it's edible. And so I share from that place because I don't know what else to do. It's from my overflowing cup that I can't help but to hold it back and to put it out there however it may serve. And selfishly, I know that thank goodness that I get to empty the cup because that means I get to receive even more. So again, it goes both ways. I love y'all. I am grateful for all of you in my life, for this community, and just thank you. Thank you for co-creating this space with me and with all of us. Until our next call for BTO live again next Tuesday, we begin at 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you choose to join the Living in the Extraordinary group, again, the link is in the chat box. You can go to livingintheextraordinary.com. And if you do choose to join, I look forward to seeing you next Monday on our next live call. And until then, just blessings to y'all. Love you guys, and I bow down to each and every one of you, and namaste.